Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers Question of the Week video. I'm John Mark Young, and this week's question is one that I'm sure many people think about. It's all about retirement planning. We just spent a month talking about Social Security. Social Security is a big part of retirement planning. It's a big part of the retirement income portion of retirement planning. And we know retirement planning can feel overwhelming. There's a lot you have to think about. But to simplify it a little bit, we're going to talk about the 5 biggest retirement planning mistakes you can and should avoid to secure your retirement future. By avoiding just a few common mistakes, that can make a huge difference in the success of your retirement plan. So let's talk about the 5 biggest retirement planning mistakes you should avoid. Starting with mistake number 1. And mistake number 1 is the debt snowball in reverse. It is not saving early enough. The earlier you start saving for retirement, the more you can take advantage of the power of compound interest. Albert Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. Think about it like a snowball rolling downhill. It grows faster, and it grows faster, and it grows faster, and it picks up momentum until the snowball is bigger than something you can deal with. I often analogize it to the growth of your investment is very small initially. It's mainly you contributing. The next year, it's still mainly you contributing a little bit more growth, maybe a little more growth, assuming linear returns, which of course you never get with stock market type investing. But to help understand the concept, use linear returns to help you think about it. Each year, you're just getting a little more growth until amazingly you look, and at some point in the savings cycle, the growth is more than you're contributing. And then for a lot of people, you go down the saving cycle and the growth starts to actually become more than your actual salary. Wow. So my growth is actually exceeding the amount of income my employer is paying me. And what did I do for that growth? That's what we call passive income, passive growth. You actually did nothing, but John Mark, I can get passive income from real estate. Ask my friend Dave Ramsey. He will gladly tell you, as Winston runs, his son-in-law, Rachel Cruz's husband, runs all of his real estate. That is not a passive investment. You can do it passively through certain types of investments, but most of you, if you actually run your real estate, would freely admit it's not a passive investment. So yes, do you get better returns sometimes? Sure. Do you get tax benefits you don't get with stock sometimes? Sure. But it's not passive. It's active. You're having to do some things. With stock investing, you do nothing other than be diversified. So the younger you start saving, that's a huge benefit. Let's go with a quick example. Let's say you start saving just a modest $100 a month at age 25. This is a Ben and Arthur type of example. So you start saving $100 at the month of 25, or at the age, not the month, $100 a month at the age of 25. And by 65, we're just going to use a modest 7% return. What do you think you have? You have $170,000. But if you delay that savings just 10 years, you don't start saving till age 35, guess what happens? You'd only have about $80,000. Now that, if you do the math, is less than half of the person that saved 10 years earlier, the same amount. So wow, saving early is a huge benefit to you. Start now, even if it's just a small amount. It's never too early to invest for your future. Mistake number 2, failing to account for inflation. This is one we've had to deal with mainly because of 2022 and the reasons why. We could spend hours and hours debating politically, but inflation obviously can erode your purchasing power over time, and that makes your savings less effective in covering future costs. The more I save, but the more inflation eats away at it, the less I actually have. For example, $1 today might only be worth 50 cents in 30 years if we maintain a 3% inflation rate. That's a huge difference. Your asset today got cut in half, which means that your investment strategy needs to keep pace with inflation. How long might you be retired? 30 years. That means over your entire retirement life cycle, your assets could get cut in half just by inflation. So your investment strategy needs to keep pace with inflation. That's why you should consider assets with the help of a good financial advisor in things like stocks, real estate, things that are going to offset these rising costs. How about mistake number 3? Underestimating your retirement expenses. So many people underestimate their retirement expenses, forgetting to factor in costs like healthcare. You're going to need to purchase a healthcare insurance plan, more than likely through Medicare, and that cost can range pretty significantly. And then based on what you pick, the out-of-pocket costs could range very significantly. That's why you need to sit down with a very qualified Medicare specialist who can help you pick the right retirement health insurance. But that's a big factor in your retirement expenses. How about home maintenance? Things like probably going to have to replace a roof over the course of my retirement. Probably going to have to maybe do some home improvements over that period of time. Or many people love to take many trips in retirement, and not accounting for those can be a major faux pas in your retirement plan. How about this? Healthcare costs alone could total over $300,000 for the average couple in retirement. You say, does that seem right? Well, if you just take the average cost of Medicare Part B and a very good supplement plan, maybe we'll go with Plan F, and you tabulate that up for a husband and wife over a 30-year retirement life cycle, that's around $300,000. If you don't account for that, it's a lot of costs you didn't account for. It's why we think it should be part of your detailed retirement budget. And that's why you creating a detailed retirement budget to help your financial advisor, so you can incorporate some of those things that you want to do that maybe are not normal for them. Again, customized traveling that you guys want to do. It's a very smart thing. So start by listing your lifestyle goals, and then estimate your expenses realistically with the help of a financial advisor. And there are many tools, even on Dave Ramsey's website, with calculators that can help you protect your future retirement costs. One way that we do it very simplistically is we take your income, we back out your taxes today, we back out your medical premiums today for health insurance, we back out your savings today there. So 401ks, IRAs, Roths, basically your baby step 4 type of thing. Any other savings you're doing, if you're saving into a brokerage account, a bridge account, those sort of places there, and we can kind of come to a number that we think your lifestyle is built around there. So make sure you estimate your retirement expenses, because that was mistake number 3, underestimating retirement expenses. Mistake number 4 is not diversifying your investments appropriately. Relying on a single investment strategy can leave you very vulnerable to market volatility. Most commonly, the way this is seen is retirees want to invest in a dividend-only strategy. That's a bad idea, friends. Very bad idea. Dividends can get cut, dividends can be eliminated, or the companies that are paying these high dividends may be out of business. I could give you 2 very good examples of very large companies you know about today that pay very good dividends that we think over the next 10 to 20 years will be bye-bye because of too much debt, or because of a business model that is just irrelevant. That is a bad way to invest. A well-diversified portfolio, which includes growth stocks, growth in income, so those dividend stocks, aggressive growth, small to mid-sized companies, and international, can reduce and help reduce, I should say, your risk and increase stability by spreading investments across different asset classes, and then including things like real estate and bonds that have non-correlation to the stock market can also help a retiree, and possibly even including alternative investments that have very low correlation to the stock market, in some cases very similar returns. Think of diversification as not putting all your eggs in one basket. It's one of the smartest ways to protect your hard-earned savings. And finally, mistake number 5, when you get to the end of it, don't ignore estate planning. Actually, you don't want to ignore estate planning wherever you're at in the retirement planning life cycle. But without proper estate planning, your loved ones could face unnecessary stress because they don't have an idea of who the assets should go to. That could mean extra probate costs, which create stress, legal hurdles, and maybe even some tax burdens. So estate planning ensures that your assets are distributed according to your wishes, and that protects your legacy. Why does Dave Ramsey call it a legacy drawer? Because this is your legacy we're talking about. These are the assets that God has entrusted you with, that you have been a steward over, and the last thing you do with them before you pass on to glory should not be something that creates stress, friction, and legal hurdles. So work with a good attorney or a certified financial planner to set up a plan that gives you peace of mind and protects your family. Retirement planning doesn't have to be complicated, but it's one thing that most of us need to do. So avoiding these 5 mistakes can make a very large difference in your retirement plan. If you're ready to take the next step, Whitaker-Myers is absolutely here to help you. We have folks that work on a coaching side that help you with budgeting, financial planners that help you with doing the big picture retirement plan. There we have Medicare specialists that help you with the health insurance side of it. We have a tax pro, a tax ELP for Dave Ramsey, CPA, that can help with filing returns and making tax projections. Your future starts today. And that's why we love the baby steps, because where do I start focusing? I start focusing on where I'm at. And now I have my order of operations. I know where to go, how to go, what to do next. And it's going to, one step at a time, be a beautiful thing until I get to baby step 7, where I can live and I can give like no one else. So thanks so much for watching this week's video. If this week's video was helpful to you, would you do us a favor? You can do us a favor by hitting the like and the subscribe button. The like button pushes our content out to more people on YouTube and Rumble's algorithms, and the subscribe button allows our content to be pushed to you as we release it. So thanks so much. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.